9:25. It's 95 degrees Fahrenheit in the state of Texas right now. 95 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 9:26 p.m. It's almost 100 degrees, ladies and gentlemen, in the state of Texas. But I want to thank you for joining us on tonight's episode of the True Seekers Live podcast. Listen, we got a great show for you tonight. We are talking about Donovan Sharp. We're going to be talking about Donovan Sharp, and we're going to be talking about some pretty serious things. And listen, I'm going to cut the music because there's no need for music tonight. There's been a lot of drama going down in this space, right? A lot of drama going down in this space. And I know a lot of people are actually tired of the drama, and they are tired of seeing, these things really, be pervasive to get a lot of the views, a lot of the clout, a lot of this, a lot of that. Well, what we're seeing tonight is what I call positive drama. I do truly think that this is positive drama tonight. I think that what we're going to talk about tonight is a really, really, really interesting thing, and it needs to be discussed because it's fascinating. We're talking about Donovan Sharp, and we've talked about Donovan before, quite a bit actually. And I'll be completely honest and transparent. I learned a lot from Donovan's broadcasting style, the way that he podcasts, the way that he sets up his podcast and things like that. A lot of y'all know about my previous nature and history in the Manosphere. That's no secret at this point. And so Donovan Sharp, I used to watch, and I saw the manner of which he podcasted. And so in all transparency, just to be 100% out there, right, I think that it's pretty, I think that I would be remiss to not say that Donovan Sharp has probably impacted a lot of people. And I've seen a lot of people's setups come directly from how Donovan Sharp set his podcasts up, his audio setup, and everything like that, right? He was one of the first guys to actually do this entire podcasting thing professionally. Before we get into Donovan Sharp, let's go ahead and talk about our holidays. It is National Corn on the Cob Day, Belmont Steaks Day. Now we can go ahead and get the music back going. It is King Kamehameha Day, National German Chocolate Cake Day, World Gin Day, Say Hi Day, and a few other days right there. Check this out. We got some crazy news stories, okay? We're actually going to pause the music on these. We got some crazy news stories. This is some serious tea. Serious tea. I was looking this up, right? Check this out. Del Curry's new girlfriend and Sonya's new man used to be married, okay? Now, if you don't know who Del Curry is the father of Steph Curry, which is the NBA superstar, probably the best shooter the NBA's ever seen, basketball's ever seen. His dad and his mom recently got divorced, and so this is what we're looking at now. Well, his dad's new girlfriend is the wife of her boyfriend. Okay, hold on a second. The husband and wife split up, and the wife went to Del Curry. The husband went to Del Curry's current ex-wife. So, I mean, that's just a hell of a story right there. No idea what's going on. The comments saying wife swap NBA edition, blockbuster trade, Del won the trade. Jesus. The internet is ruthless, so just don't find yourself on the other end of it. Check this out, though. We got a couple more crazy stories. Oh, this girl set up a murder.
You did, dude. You did it, bitch. You did it. Are you serious? You gonna ask me that, Mama? Miss Smith, don't do that. Mama, are you gonna ask me that? You thought she been harassing us.
Wild footage coming out of Chicago.
You did it, bitch. You did it. Are you serious? You gonna ask me that, Mama? Miss Smith, don't do that. Mama, are you gonna ask me harassing us? You thought she been harassing us.
So it looks like that girl actually was implicated in setting up a murder for a hire type plot deal, whatnot. Somehow she got tied in with the authorities. The authorities found out, and they went and arrested her. So just something to kind of take away. Man, this is a crazy world. Who would think? Another crazy story we're just going to follow up on top of it. You can search for this story by typing in, "I need you to shoot him." Girl 11 was forced by her mom to kill abusive stepfather. This is a woman now today. Her name is Mary Elizabeth Bailey. She describes her upbringing in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains with her abusive mother and stepfather as anything but idyllic. In fact, she says it was like living in a house of horrors. In February 1987, her stepfather, Wayne Wires, interesting name, then 29, returned from working as a truck driver to the West Virginia home and discovered his wife, Priscilla, had lent the Jeep to an acquaintance who'd run it off-road. The next few days with an enraged Wires became a living nightmare, Mary recalls. The life-changing event is focused on the Monday, June 13th episode of People magazine investigates Tilted Mother's Orders. This is airing at 9 p.m. Eastern on the Investigation Discovery and Discovery Plus channel, which you can rent subscribe. That is not an actually paid plug, but I tell you what, if you want to throw me a check, Discovery Channel, do not stop it. Pretty horrific, triggering, Article right here. This actually happened in a park while a woman was walking her dog. Apparently, a police officer had told her to stop for some unannounced reason or unknown reason. The dog is seen trying to get in the middle to protect the owner, and he began to get pretty physical and confrontational with her. We're not exactly sure what the details of this case are, but I read that a white Chicago police officer, obviously, Jesus Christ right there, is still under investigation after this video was captured of him repeatedly grabbing a black woman walking her dog in a confrontation. Lawyers called racial, quote, profiling, the department said Friday. Officer Bruce Diker quit while the August 28th incident was still under investigation, the department spokesperson said. The encounter occurred shortly after midnight when Diker asked Nikita, shortly after midnight. Is this night vision? Okay. When Diker asked Nikita Brown to leave a beach that was closed, according to the Civilian Office of Police Accountability, which reviewed the incident and forwarded its finding to the police department in October. So this happened a while ago. The agency said the officer forcibly grabbed Brown after, quote, words were exchanged. Body cam video released by Brown's lawyer showed Brown asking the officer to respect her space as he emerges from his cruiser. It's quote-unquote cerveza, she can be heard saying. I'm not sure exactly what that means, but an article that I just want to bring to your attention as well. The last article, I know we have a lot of news tonight, but we have to cover a good amount of news. Jif had a international recall for peanut butter, but then the products were actually extended to cream, fudge, and even chicken salad. So if you're using these Jif products, we Jif alerted, that is, a couple weeks ago. I didn't put the alert out because I missed it, but I'm putting it out now. They had salmonella and a few other things that was going on right there. That is the end of our news. Go ahead and drop bombs. Thank you for everybody that's a moderator on the channel. We have awesome moderators on this channel. The train is moving forward in the discussion. I want to thank all the channel contributors for donating on Cash App, for donating on PayPal, and for donating everywhere possible that you could be donating. And for our offline contributors as well, I got a few Cash App donations while we were offline. It's been wonderful. Donovan Sharp recently had a pretty bad bout with health. He actually had the cerveza virus, and from what I understand, he came extremely close to actually losing his life. It was pretty serious. It took him down for what a lot of people thought would be the count. Now, obviously, there's been a good amount of loss of life recently for, in the news and things of that nature. And so I know that it's a really triggering topic for a lot of y'all and things of that nature. And so we'll ask to keep it respectful in the comments as we go ahead and go forth with the dialogue and with the discussion that we're going to have on Donovan Sharp tonight in the Red Pill community and the change that I spoke about. We're going to start seeing in a lot of these commentaries and a lot of these discussions, because it's natural to some extent for the course of nature to correct itself when it does get a bit too off balance and off kilter. That's the way that the world works, ladies and gentlemen. That's the way that the world operates, and that's the way that life has been able to be sustainable for hundreds of thousands, some argue for millions of years. At this point, though, Donovan Sharp, when he was in the hospital and had his bout and things of that nature, I do believe that there were some things that changed in his mind. And we spoke about this on the live stream that I did called Donovan Sharp Isn't Looking Too Well. It was actually an uploaded video, but I took it down because he's doing much better now. So you can't watch that video. It is an older video. But in this one, the title of this is How My Recent Hospital Stay Changed My Views. And believe it or not, he actually went on this video to not really have views that were changed that much at all. By the way, I'm sure, and I can almost positively tell you that Donovan's probably watching right now. So huge hello to you, Donovan, if you're watching. I'll be opening Zoom in a little bit if you want to hop on the panel, Donovan, and talk or whatnot. I don't assume that he will, but if he decides to, then that is his choice. Having said that, though, he went and explained in this video, and we'll watch a bit in a second, how his views might have changed, or I'm telling you now, spoiler alert, how they didn't.
All right. Hey, Dev, it's live. Let's go.
Dev, for those of you who do not know, is Donovan's girlfriend, arguably, allegedly wife. We don't really know at this point. But she's been with him for the better of 7 or 8 years, I want to say.
Guys, give me a second here.
So he's out of breath. He's winded. Let's just see.
Certain words, phrases that has anything to do with the sickness. 91 DVOC. So I'm not getting into regret that. And I'm glad I was well taken care of. I'm not out of the woods yet. I'll be highly contagious. I think Dr. Rick told me for.
Now I want you all, you Red Pill guys, to notice something. The first thing that we really arguably saw in the video that Donovan did was call out to Devin. All right, Devin, his pretty much, for all intents and purposes, wife, if we're looking at common law. I don't know where they're married, where they live at, but if it's common law, they're pretty much common law married at this point, right? Donovan in this video was so weak that Devin had to take care of him. So, gentlemen, this is why Donovan Sharp is starting to backtrack a little bit. And so this video might be titled this certain way, and he might have given the message in this video, because we're not going to watch all this video. That's not the purpose of this tonight. We have a lot more to cover. He might not have acknowledged that a lot did change in this, but I almost guarantee that most of the time you have serious life-changing and serious near-death experiences, your perspectives on life do immediately and drastically change. It's completely natural for that to happen. As a matter of fact, that's the way it's supposed to be. And you're much more appreciative of the things you do have. Your perceptions might that might have been a bit more harder to work with slowly become more malleable, because you realize that that life is not as rigid and solid as you thought, but rather it is malleable, loose, flimsy at times as well, and it can be gone in an instant's notice. And so you start to conform like that as well. And like the instance Bruce Lee said, and the famous Bruce Lee said, be like water. That's the best way to be. And I think Donovan did ultimately learn a little bit of that. So let's go ahead and pause that there, because Donovan Sharp, you need to understand, is a man that said some pretty outrageous things. And I'm not going to get into the history of the things that he said, because we want to try and at least give people the opportunity to start moving forward. Now, while we go ahead and load this video up, this video is a part of his live stream. I'm sorry, this video is not part of his live stream. Forgive me, y'all. This video that we're getting ready to see in 1 second is a part of the Manosphere and the civil war that's going on in their section of the Manosphere. So keep in mind that when Donovan was actually sick, before Donovan was sick, and I'm not sure if this actually contributed to any of the actual medical problems, anything of that nature, but when he did have the cerveza virus and came down with that extremely severely, he had already done one conference of masculine excellence, or CME. Now the CME, I'll go ahead and find the YouTube clip because I didn't have one pulled up, is a conference where these guys come together for the most part, right? Conference on CME Donovan Sharp. They come together and pretty much, gather and, have good, speaking and engagements. And this is the people that actually spoke on the Conference of Masculine Excellence. Look at this: Rollo Tomasi, Fresh and Fit. We're here. Minister Jab. Jesus Christ. Jeez. We'll go ahead. We'll drop everything from Mr. Jab. All right. Book of Alpharonomy, Terrence Popp, RP Thor, George Bruno. So a lot of these guys are red pill guys, right? Check this out. So, yeah, that's pretty much that right there. We're going to go ahead and pause this. We'll fast forward in the video so you can see what it was looking like. That's Donovan speaking there.
Any money, didn't have any children. And so,
looking sharp.
Like I said before, my divorce cost me $12. So I got out of that relatively unscathed. Had the scars, right? But I was all right.
Now, I'll say the lighting, the setup, everything like that, Donovan did a good job. He put a good amount of money into it. You could tell that he's passionate about it as he does this thing. That Conference of Masculine Excellence was a direct takeaway from another conference that was going down around the same time at that year, not that year, but around the same time each and every year, called the 21 Studios. I forget what the name of the damn conference is. I don't even know. So they got really upset that Donovan was doing his conference here, right? They got extremely upset that Donovan was doing his conference, that Donovan split apart from the Manosphere, and he truly did, for all intents and purposes, do what a lot of men in the Manosphere say to do, which is go their own way, or MGTOW, men going their own way. He got into some kind of behind-the-scenes argument. So we speak about that drama that's going on our side, right? The drama between the woman sphere, Nyla, Taz, me, everybody else, right? And we're getting ready to get back to that drama in 1 second. You best believe it. But we're going to this side of the drama as well, because it seems that there's a civil war or a purging, and in the purging is this essence or this remnant of virtuousness or virtuosity, right? Or integrity. And I'm not sure if maybe Donovan was touched by the spirit of who knows, or maybe he just saw something, or maybe just, I don't know, he had a change of heart. But we're going to go ahead and pause this right there. Just keep in mind that is the CME, Conference of Masculine Excellence. And because of that, a direct response was a video titled that was uploaded or streamed a few weeks, whatever days ago, called Exposing Donovan Sharp CME Scam, yada, yada, yada. Now, they have these videos like this where they talk about exposing Donovan Sharp. I don't think we're going to play this much of this one, but the one that we will play is a video by 21 Studios that goes on to say a lot of different things. Now, I want you to keep in mind everything that I just got done telling you about Donovan Sharp. Remember, Donovan Sharp was in the hospital. He needed Devin to help take care of him severely badly. He's bedridden. He could barely talk. He could barely move I believe when he was at a certain point, right? It was bad. Now, because of the response, the visceral response to what Donovan decided to do, take away money from certain guys in the Manosphere to actually break apart, those guys in the Manosphere didn't like Donovan doing that. Oh, what does that sound like? You're absolutely right. That sounds like some of your favorite content creators in the woman's side of the sphere not liking other content creators trying to do their thing and then in turn trying to shut them down. Proof at Donovan Sharp is a fraud, the name of this video is titled, for being secretly married to a 46-year-old single mom. Now, if you don't know about the Manosphere, being married is already you're the negative right there, because the Manosphere teaches about not being married. So much so, as a matter of fact,
but you married a single.
I had the volume off. I almost had a perfect broadcasting 5 minutes right there. Did y'all feel how fluently that flowed for 5 minutes? Until I just had one mess up right there. I tried to get the video playing without the audio playing, and then I've messed everything up. It's tough, man. When you're doing this by yourself, it's tough to keep everything in synchronization and then keep one train of thought going whilst you're moving, trying to time this thing. So I want to thank everybody that donates, because I'm getting some more stuff right now. And I forgot, dang gummit, y'all. Did I say this already? My memory's horrible. Y'all know my memory's horrible. I forgot to do a phone drop counter on the live. Because the camera drop counter, I forgot to do that. So next time, somebody email me and remind me. We'll have a prize for whoever guesses how many times the phone drops. All right. So as a direct response, they got extremely upset and they dropped this video about Donovan Sharp, and they doxed Donovan Sharp and his wife. Who else does that sound like to you? That's right. It does sound like Nyla, Taz, and Cynthia G. You see, what's interesting is that these content creators on YouTube all end up, once they get to a certain point, either deciding to stay virtuous or they'll decide to play dirty. Now, most of them are going to end up playing dirty because of the money aspect of it, which we're getting ready to talk about a lot more in our Divest Future series, because we were supposed to be talking about Divest for about 3 straight months until Kevin Samuels unfortunately passed away, which caused a big, and I say unfortunately because it caused a big immediate rift in the train that we had, the locomotive motion that we had against Nyla Says, Taz Exclusive, Cynthia G, and everything else. So they called an extremely big, timely break for them, untimely break for just about the rest of the world, including ourselves, right? But having said that, we're getting ready to go ahead and turn this thing all the way back around. We're getting ready to get everything cranked back up to go back into the true nature of the situation. But in order to do that, we get to also explore a few different other ulterior scenic routes as well. And one of those just happens to be the Manosphere trying to expose Donovan Sharp for essentially being with the woman that helped save his life, if I'm being completely honest with you. So get a load of this video. Also, this is a trigger and a language warning, ladies and gentlemen. This is not for the faint of heart. You might see something in this that offends you. This is done by, once again, a gentleman named Anthony Dream Johnson, and his YouTube channel is called 21 Studios. This is complete Manosphere propaganda to the max, and this is the things that the government will eventually start cracking down on. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started.
I'm not trying to be mean-spirited, but you married a single mom. Come on, man. Let's not.
Now, keep in mind, this is Donovan talking about this as well, all right? So this is why we're talking about this video tonight, because I want you to see the radical shift and difference of this Donovan and the Donovan that you're getting ready to watch that just uploaded a video 5 hours ago. A very big change, right? Very big change.
Pretend that you're some apex alpha male. Come on. We both know what this really is. So you married a single mom. Let's not pretend that you're some apex alpha male.
You know what's so funny about this?
One of them will attempt to report this video and get it taken down, and it's bullshit.
And guys,
Anthony Dream Johnson puts that little warning up there. Donovan will attempt to get this video down, take it down as bullshit, when he's the one that got my channel copyright struck. He struck my copyright channel because of something I put on Coach Greg Adams, one of his friends. These dudes are so... Bro, I can't take these dudes, bro.
And this is funny. When I lost my first of 2 YouTube channels, guys were telling me, go to BitChute, go to here, go to there.
So there you have it. That's Donovan Sharp admitting that 2 prior YouTube channels were deleted by YouTube, terminated, banned, lost.
It's like he's like a little rat snitch, dude. Even his face, dude. I even hate his face, man. He's just such a twit.
Here is his current channel, over 110,000 subscribers, all these views. This is no less than the third channel he's had. The prior two were terminated by YouTube. This one.
So this dude's trying to essentially like ruin Donovan's life right now, right? This is pretty much what this guy's doing. He's trying to ruin Donovan's life because of the CME, the Conference of Masculine Excellence that Donovan Sharp started. And in the process, Donovan was talking badly, some slight distance and stuff like that about this guy here. So this guy decided to go full throttle, call his wife all kinds of horrible stuff, got his 200, 300,000 subscribers for a few weeks on end to go and call his wife all kinds of stuff. Let's listen to Donovan and see what Donovan's saying here.
Sexually irresponsible. That's not immature. That's common sense, Adam. Using your resources on another man's offspring.
So Donovan is, I want you to hear that's, and I'm gonna stop it there, okay? Because it's the rest of it's pretty much just as triggering there. But the rest of it goes into, and I'm not gonna show pictures of everything like that, and I'm not going to show pictures of anybody's wives and things like that, but later on in that video, it gets crazy. They're showing pictures of people's wives. They have pictures of people's children in this, and of course, they blur out their faces and stuff. I mean, just wild stuff, right? And this is all in the name of the Manosphere, right? So the same exact thing we're seeing on our side, these guys are doing too, which is crazy, because I mean, I don't know. I think it may be just a little worse on our side because of the nature of it. Anyways, so because of all that, and everything going on, Donovan today did this video. Are you overdosing on the red pill? My goodness. Are you overdosing on the red pill? That's the title of this video. June 11th. It's 2,000 views. 264 likes. Red pill overage, symptom number 4. Unrealistic expectations of something. So we're going to talk about this and listen to what Donovan has to say.
Guys, I'm here to tell you, there are no 19-year-old virginal women raised in Amish country with all the domestic skills a man could want who don't know they're beautiful anymore. They just don't exist. And even if they do exist, they're more likely than not spoken for. But if you're an average guy who has above average taste in women, but aren't above average in value, then you're definitely in the overdose range. Understand this, gentlemen. Women no longer come ready-made for relationships like they did back in the 1950s. And because of this, it is incumbent on the man to build the woman into what he wants and needs. I'm extending my 55% off sale through the weekend.
Donovan Sharp has a course that he started doing called Womanese. Now, this course pretty much described the way that women talk and say things. So, for instance, he has in certain parts of the course, I think, content sections where it's like, well, if a woman tells you that she's busy right now, then that pretty much means this, this, and this, that. And he has these courses really, really crazily planned out, nicely planned out. I mean, he puts a lot of work into it, this, and that. That's what he's advertising right there. Let's go ahead and go back to the video. Red pill. Let's check this out.
Understand that how important this community is. You guys know how important it is, right? The RP space has really helped a lot of men live better lives.
I'm going to pause it right here. Donovan essentially right now psychologically is trying to assert and affirm himself inside of the heart and space and mind and soul, body and community of the red pill, because he is essentially one of the founders. Just like we're starting to see a lot of other people trying to get back and take back their spot in the other pill communities, right? The other various color pill communities, like we're seeing pink pill and a few others do right now. So right now is a time of purging and reckoning that's going on in a lot of these social media spaces, a lot of these YouTube spaces, and we're starting to figure out who is essentially going to step up the ladder of integrity as well as providing the same content. That's where it's starting to come down to now, because people are going to get a little tired with hearing the same BS after not having personal results in their own lives. Not just that, but they're looking for something new, something that actually does work to some extent. Not all of them. A lot of them still do want bloodshed, but that's going to be changing as well in a little bit.
We've helped to wake men up to what's really going on out here in the dating market. And a few of us have even saved lives. Now, off the top of my head, Terrence Popp and Rollo Tomasi, in my mind, have probably saved the most lives of any other content creator out there. These guys have saved more men than we realize or acknowledge. And these two continue to save lives to this day. The RP community has represented a paradigm shift in the mindset of a lot of Western men. Each and every day, more and more men are waking up and acting accordingly in relationships of varying degrees. They're getting their physical fitness in order. They're getting their finances in order. They're improving themselves. They're doing everything in every way possible. They're improving themselves in every way possible.
Donovan's stuttering because he knows it's bullshit.
Quantifiably or otherwise. However, there is a pervasive problem that arises as a result of guys like myself delivering our message almost, dare I say, too good?
Too good.
And that problem is Crimson Capsule overdose. Now, a lot of you guys might be thinking, wait a minute, Donovan. Hold on a second there. Hold on. How can you overdose on the Crimson Capsule? Aren't the ideas espoused in this community supposed to be helpful? Well, the answer to that second question is yes, our ideas are very helpful. However, a lot of men who find this corner of the internet do end up overdosing on this content.
So, what Donovan is saying is pretty much what we've been saying, is that men are going to eventually start holding other men accountable, and the Manosphere content creators will eventually start doing the same thing too. Because A, there's going to be a market for it, right? A true market for it. Here in a little bit, there wasn't the market for actually like holding men accountable back then, but there's getting ready to be a true market for it now, especially with the passing of, you know, a very big content creator. That changed the dynamics quite a bit. But more than that, what they're starting to see and what they're starting to feel is essentially pressures from a lot of different other corners, right? It's the pressures of the reality of life. We're starting to see that, yeah, once you do get to 50, 60, right, as a black male, it's, you know what I mean? The clock is ticking, right? We're starting to see that, hey, you know, a lot's changed, I'll say that. A lot's changed. But more so than that, for the ones that truly do want to help, like we've seen in the pink pill communities or other various communities, the people that do truly want to contribute and help their subscribers and followers, or the community that they ended up raising from the ground, the ones who truly want to help end up saying the messages that are a little tougher to hear. Now, Donovan Sharp's message of guys needing to wake up to the fallacies of them not being the best version of themselves and consuming too much red pill content is something that could effectively take down most of his subscribers, right? But at this point, you have to understand what happened to Donovan, and we just got done speaking about that a couple seconds ago. The same thing that happened to Donovan is what's happened to a lot of content creators in our sphere that we've been talking about. The content creators who ended up raising the same content or community from the ground to the ashes, only to have it irreparably, can I say that word right there? Is that the right word? Irreparably taken away, right? We just saw the video of them trying to expose Donovan Sharp, right? The video putting everything on Front Street about his family, his wife, his everything. Everything's on Front Street. We didn't watch any of it. Trust me. It was bad. All right? It was bad. We didn't see any of it. But because of that, that was the trigger and that was the shift. So was it that the entire time the content creators that rolled together and the conferences knew that all the guys really weren't that solid, knew that all the guys really weren't that alpha? Yeah, of course. The same thing that going on with the Black Woman Sphere, who knew that Nyla and Taz were really trashed from the get-go, who knew that Cynthia was really trashed from the get-go. It's the same thing that happens, right? It's the same thing. But because it's under the same brand, because they're under the same sphere, no pun intended, manosphere, woman's sphere, whatever sphere, right? It's that you can't go against the grain of the norm, right? You can't go against the grain of the norm. Because there's nobody else, you have nobody else to go with. So you have to go along to get along to some extent, right? And it's only until something happens to where you can't do or go along or get along anymore that you say something. Now, that's partly why Donovan's saying something now, but still, I think he has a good message.
Men who find this corner of the internet do end up overdosing on this content. No, I don't mean they watch too much of it, because you can never consume too much RP. It is extremely important to consume this content as often as possible and as consistently as possible so one can avoid back.
Now, Donovan has to save face a little bit right here because he's literally a YouTuber, so he can't say don't watch the content as much. I'll tell you to stop watching the content if it's starting to affect you. You're waking up every day, like checking to see if your favorite YouTuber, like, no, you need to stop watching. That includes me, all right? If you're like really tied that into it to where you're like, 24/7 emailing me, like, no, let me know if something crazy does happen, if it's like a news story, because I'm trying to make that money, you know what I'm saying? So, but no, if it's like something all the time and it's, just this and that, you might need to unplug for a while. And there's nothing wrong with that. We just need to make sure that we're healthy with it. So, yeah.
Backsliding, so to speak. But a lot of men in our community suffer from what we call RP masturbation. That is, they watch Crimson Capsule content all day, every day, but they never take action.
All right. Now, that is what we call blood sport here on this section of YouTube. Now, the blood sport can be the black male gang banging, as the Manosphere podcast has, affectionately dubbed it, when, you have just pretty much the divested or the super divested or the divested zealots, if you will, right? Getting these communities or whatever it might be, and they love to talk, badly and, black male gang bang, just like a lot of guys do as well. Now, this is what Donovan is saying. He's saying that I see that this is happening a little bit. Now, this has been happening for years, right?
And if you consume enough of even this brand of content and don't really start making progress or changes, eventually you're going to watch enough of it to jade you to the point of not wanting to do anything about your current station in life. That's just the way of it. We're starting to see this in action as one of the fastest growing downsides of our community. Most men take what we say to heart and apply it accordingly, but there is also a percentage of men who are simply unable to break out of the anger phase.
Now, I don't know if I agree with Donovan on that that right there. I don't know if most men do truly take this to heart and actually make the changes. I think a lot of guys take this to heart, and they take it to heart, and depending on what the message is, they can appropriately take what that is. But the main message of the Manosphere a lot of the time isn't necessarily to make one better. I will say that Donovan's message does focus more on becoming better as a man. I will say, or becoming a better version of yourself. I can't say as a man, but becoming a better version of yourself, i.e. through weightlifting or this or that. He was always speaking about nutritional supplements to take. He was always talking about making his mind better. He was always on point with the YouTube thing. He live streamed every day. He never was late for shows. He didn't miss anything like that. The dude was militaristic with his regimen and with his lifestyle. And that's how he was able to become one of the most prevalent creators in the Manosphere and the Red Pill content community. So make no mistake about it. He's on point as far as his regimen and his, his I guess, I don't even want to know what to call that. So just keep that in mind. I will say that, right?
They're unable to.
But most guys aren't. Most guys, and here's the thing. It's not that most guys aren't on it like that, right? But I think what happens is when you have people like Donovan as a content creator saying certain things in a certain way, people tend to try and use what he's saying and apply it to their lives. But you're not Donovan, though. You're not that person. So you can't operate in that same type of way, right?
They're unable to get past the rage and frustration that comes with the discovery that they have been mentally castrated by the culture really since birth. Now, keep in mind, I want you guys to keep in mind, the anger phase is perfectly normal. Most guys who find the Crimson Capsule do go through the anger phase. When a man really starts to think back on his interactions with the women in his life, the women he's been romantically involved with or otherwise, it is perfectly natural.
Like literally, if y'all want, like literally Donovan Sharp paid for this footage right here. Like that's like somebody he hired just to do that right there. Like the dude's that serious about his stuff. He doesn't want like any copyright issues or anything. It's crazy. Now, he's describing red pill rage. Red pill rage, ladies and gentlemen. Red pill rage is when guys find out, and you know this already, their true reality or the nature of women. Now, this is hinted on a little bit in the very beginning when Donovan was talking about, women not being 19-year-old versions anymore. Kind of a weird thing, but, whatever. I understand what he's trying to say, but, the concept is, I don't even know if guys really want, I don't know. But what he's trying to say is that all women, for the most part, past age 21, have had at least a partner or two, right? And he's trying to get guys to understand at this point that this weird concept that they originally made up, they originally formulated this concept of no, you need to make sure that she only has this amount of bodies. You need to make sure she's only done this. You need to make sure that she only says this. If she has any tattoos, it's a no-go. If she has any piercings, it's a no-go. If she has colored hair, it's a no-go. If she even thinking about, I don't know, watching this type of TV show, it's a no-go. Like, they were that stringent on these live streams. I tell you what, they were so stringent on these live streams, women would call into the show and Donovan Sharp would cuss them the fuck out. Bad. That's how he got his first channel deleted, yo. He would cuss them out bad, like Taz style, pretty much. He would pretty much essentially cuss him out Taz style. He'd be like, "Oh no, you B, you're not gonna call into my effing show." I kid you not. And I'd be like, "Why is this dude so upset?" I'd be tripping, like, why is he so upset right now? Like, she didn't even say anything. She'd be like, "Hey Donovan, I really like your show," and he'd be like, "Hell no, you B." He's like, "Women do not call into my show. I do not take women onto the show." And I was like, wow, he's really upset right now, right? But the guys in the chat were like, "Oh, hey, blah, blah, blah. Women, stop calling in, yada, 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 And it always was like, ooh, it's a bad look right there. I never got that. Now, he doesn't do that anymore. He does not do that anymore, ladies and gentlemen. So I will say that's progress. Let's listen to what he has to say, though, okay? I know I'm changing a lot between scenes. Are the scenes changing too much? Let me know if the scenes are changing too much. If you just prefer to keep it on the dual shot screen, press 2. If you prefer to just keep it on the screenshot, press 3, right? So screenshot, if you like the screenshot where the entire thing is big and you can see everything, on that whatever, then if you want to see me, the dual shot as well, explaining this, I'll stop switching as much. If you don't mind the switching, then just press 0. I don't mind the switching between the scenes. I try and keep it animated for y'all. Let's go ahead and take a listen to this.
And the one thing he told me about his experience really resonated with me. He said, "Donovan, what I learned in rehab was that when something you're doing affects you negatively, but you still can't stop doing it, you have a problem." And my buddy was right. Alcohol and drugs cost him his job. Alcohol and drugs cost him his wife. Alcohol and drugs cost him his family. And eventually his addiction cost him his home. And all the while his life is crashing down around him, he continued to drink and do drugs, even though he could see it dismantling his life. Make no mistake, the Crimson Capsule saves and improves lives, guys. There's no doubt about that. But when all you do all day is talk about hypergamy and branch linking to your friends and family and coworkers, you're going to get a lot of pushback. And rather just living your life and working on yourself and letting your actions do the talking, you're more interested in talking about theories rather than actually doing things. Now, don't get me wrong here, guys. I'm not saying that you should keep your mouth shut at all times. If someone asks you a question about dating and relationships here...
So let me stop it there because he just pretty much, said everything that essentially needs to be said. We're 7 minutes into that video. And that video is 22 minutes long, right? Let me look at y'all's comments really quickly just to make sure. Let me see. 2, you like the dual screen. 0, you don't mind. 0, you don't mind. 2, dual screen. Okay, thank y'all. Thank y'all for voting. Black Messiah says THT are definitely up next. I appreciate that, THT. I appreciate that, Jonathan. I appreciate that, Black Messiah. I appreciate that. Orchid Mantis says interesting. Omari Brown says WTF. The Canary sings a new tune, Orchid Mantis says. Smart Cookie, hello, it's good to see you. Stephanie Maria says, it's good to see you. Batty Gals in the building. It did be like that. It said be like the wind. Y'all crazy. Come on, man. I got hairy legs. Come on, man. Come on, man. Shout out to Joe Biden, President Joe Biden. He's getting roasted right now. I mean, he's getting roasted. Listen, I bet a lot of y'all want him back. I bet a lot of y'all want him back. Yeah, I like Trump. I'm sorry. I do. I mean, Trump took Kodak Black. Trump bailed Kodak Black out of prison, man. Did y'all know that? Y'all know Trump bailed Kodak Black out of prison, right? And now, I'm not saying that's the reason I like Kodak, because that's definitely not the reason I like Kodak. But I mean, when you do something like that, We'll have to, you know, you gotta pay respect where respect is due sometimes, damn it. You gotta respect the shooter, man. All right. Let's go ahead and go back to our discussion here. Are you overdosing on the red pill? Gentlemen, what Donovan Sharp is telling you right now is the same thing that we've been telling you for Organic Black. How long have we been telling them? A year. Like, we could look it up, but we're not going to right now. Just take my word for it, if you will. You don't have to. But the same thing that I've said before, you can listen now or you can listen later, will be applied. All right? What am I referring to? In case you don't know, I'll show you what I'm referring to. I am kind. I am gracious. If you're new on my channel, there's a mantra I have. It's in the About section. It's the only thing that I could think of to say when I thought of this channel, and it's that listen if you want, don't if you don't, but I advise you to listen while you can. I made that in November 17th, 2017. Oh, also, somebody asked me about the views here because they were like, oh, how do you have, I was talking to somebody, I forget, I think it was like a channel member, and they were like, oh, I saw you only have this amount of views, so I've deleted a ton of views, right? I deleted a whole bunch of views because a lot of my videos are private right now, and I deleted a lot of videos too for obvious reasons. I'm not going to go into that right now, right? Obviously. So, since I deleted those videos, you don't have those views anymore, which is where those views have gone. So in reality, we're past 1 million views. And so I didn't actually throw an official 1 million views party because I haven't technically received the notification from YouTube being like, oh, you have 1 million views, right? But I'm sure we're past it now. But as soon as we do get to that official point, I'll let you all know, right? But we've been telling you guys this for a long time now, and that's that you have to start waking up to the reality of reality. And you have to leave the world that you want to exist behind, because in this world, and it's not just with dating, if you can't fail to get past what you think ought to be, then you're going to have a very hard time adapting to the serious reality of this world, right? You're going to end up doing very bad. You're going to have a very challenging time getting through relationships, getting through problems, getting through careers, getting through education. You're going to have a tough time getting through the system because the system is built on the fundamental bricks of reality, right? So what happens when you don't live in a system of reality is either you're going to end up finally living or finding a system that is built for you to live in, which we call those sometimes asylums, or you're going to end up checking out of reality, which a lot of guys do. And if you don't know, the rise of the permanent sleeping or taking one's life has been rising dramatically for men in particular, not women, but for men in particular. And when you look at messages like the doom, gloom, shame, blame, and explain content of the red pill community, it starts to make a little bit more sense when you see a lot of guys that do ultimately start to give up and lose hope. Now, this is the red pill community, and the red pill community has been really closely aligned with the black pill community, or a group of men who believe that there is no hope anymore, who believe that this is what it is, that we can't get relationships. All women are prostitutes or destitute, or they're very promiscuous, or they're this, and they all have a price tag, and society's going to collapse eventually, this, and that. And what Donovan is trying to warn or trying to get men to stop going or drifting towards is that essentially this nihilistic life is not worth living type of perspective known as the black pill. The black pill, once again, is the dark or the negative side of the lack of color, the lack of anything at that point. When you think of dark, when you think of black, when you think of a black pill, if you were to pop a black pill, what do you think it would represent? It doesn't represent anything healthy, I'll tell you that much. At least not in our minds, not stereotypically. You would think of maybe a different color, white, yellow, something like that, right? Not to be racist. Why are they making all the pills white? Jesus Christ. White people, you have some explaining. I'm kidding you. I just want to give a shout out to Gold Coast Granny. I'm just kidding. Gold Coast Granny, I don't mean to call you out right there, dear. You know, we love all people here. Having said that, though, on a serious note, I do want you to understand, and I'm going to stop it right here because this is Coach Greg Adams, and I want to see what exactly Donovan Sharp is saying in reference to Coach Greg Adams, because we speak about Coach Greg Adams a lot. Coach Greg Adams speaks about junior college girls a lot, which is very interesting because junior college girls are about 30 years age difference from Coach Greg Adams, which we'll talk about in a little bit. We spoke about that clock. Here we go. Take a sip.
One of the great things about this community is its diversity.
Yes.
Right? We've got guys as young as Steph is Cold, all the way to guys as old as the late, great Kevin Samuels. We're racially
No, Kevin Samuels wasn't that old.
diverse. We all come from different walks of life. The list goes on and on and on. Now, diversity breeds different ideas and or opinions on some of the same topics, right? For example, Coach Greg Adams is a strong proponent of never cohabitating with a woman, while guys like myself and Rollo acknowledge that even though cohabitation does come with risks, there are rewards and advantages to be had, so long as the foundation is laid correctly and your Crimson Capsule awareness is always front and center. But if you're a content creator or a content consumer who's always splitting hairs about the minuscule differences in one's line of thinking, then arguing with whoever is around, you might be suffering from Crimson Capsule overdose. Now, I want to make this clear. There is absolutely nothing wrong with spirited discussions about our differences in approach. These discussions make the community stronger, and it gives all involved added dimension.
Now, Donovan is breaking this down right now because essentially, once again, this is hurting his bottom line. It is. You make no mistake about it. Him losing and having these exposés given on him and done on him consistently by 21 Studios, who is the largest, competitor or the largest content creator in the Manosphere. It's 21 Studios, or in the white side, or the Manosphere period, at least this side of the Manosphere that we're talking about. Because I can't even say that, right? But the largest person is actively still trying to get this guy, trying to get Donovan Sharp out of here. So now Donovan pretty much has his back against the wall, and he has to say something. He's like, listen, I got to say something at this point, because if I don't, these people are going to essentially end me. You know what I mean? Like, they are really, really trying to end DS here. I'm looking at my hair. I'm looking at my hair again. Y'all know how I feel about my hair. I'm about to cut it off. Fucking. Hold on a second. All right. Better. Kind of. Fucking hell, bro. I'm about to figure something out with this damn hairdo, man. That now I look like crazy right here. I know it's crazy, man. Just hold up, man. All right. Everybody relax. All right. We're good. Everybody relax, okay? We're good. We're good now. We're good. All right, cool. This light's kind of. There we go. That light was stupid bright, yo. Jesus. All right, that light was really bright. Sorry about that, y'all. My face is so oily. Let me see. Hold on a second. Jesus. I'll return it down. It's probably a little better right there. All right, put it right there. All right. Let me get back to this. So, yes. All right. So, the Civil War is definitely hurting. So, he has to say something right now. It's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's time. It's time to go ahead and start purging the swamp. It's time to go ahead and start calling out the BS. It's time to go ahead and find this damn towel because I'm sweating. If we don't start calling out the BS right now, we're going to have a problem going forward. And the same thing that I saw and the same thing I said in the divestment community, the problem is going to start arising in real life and online if we don't start addressing some of the issues and some of the fallacies and some of the extreme radicalness, right? It's going to end up being divisive for all. Far more divisive, far more non-solution based than it is solution based, right? Let's continue on here.
To their own line of thinking. It is extremely important for men to exchange ideas with one another, even if they do not agree on some of the elements they're talking about. But there's a difference between a discussion and an argument. A discussion is simply a conversation where ideas are acknowledged and exchanged. An argument is when people stoop to underhanded debate tactics for the purpose of undermining and even insulting the other person to either make them look bad or clout chase. Arguments are also a breeding ground for ad hominem attacks, which really is no good for anyone.
Now, what Donovan is trying to explain right here is a very interesting phenomenon. I know I like the dual shift, so I'll keep this video playing while we rewind. We're at 9 minutes and 40 seconds, right? What Donovan is trying to do is trying to fight righteousness against unrighteousness, or he's trying to play fair and fight fair against people who are fighting dirty. But the same thing that happened in the divestment community for years on end is happening to Donovan Sharp right now, which is that he's being swallowed to some extent, not completely, because he's got his own movement too, but he's being swallowed to some extent by the masses of the popularity that the other, or the masses of the support that the other, the more popular content creator has. Whereas that content creator's word in a lot of cases is bond, right? Because they were the first, they have more resources, they have more time, they have more energy, they have more everything to put into that propaganda machine, if you will, that's been set against you to tear you down. So the same thing that's been happening to a lot of the women that have been kicked out of the women's sphere, the women that have been kicked out of the divestment community, the women that have been kicked out of the whatever community, the feminine community, the black women empowerment community, BWE community, the same thing that's happened to a lot of them has been happening to Donovan. And so now Donovan has done something like of what Black Women's Sphere has done, where she's found this new element of righteousness. She's found this new element of righteousness to take people and to take the followers to the true promised land, not the fake promised land, right? But the true promised land that actually has viable solutions, that actually has good discussions, that can actually make you a better person, right? When not just a few months ago, you were the same person that was actively taking part in the discussions and in some of the tomfoolery that you no longer want to be a part of or associated with. So it's somewhat of a catch 222, because it's not like these people have completely changed their message. It's not like anything has been completely fundamentally radically like awoken within them. I mean, hell, you still see the sign that Donovan often refers to and jokes to, that banana sign that you see in the very back. Sorry about that. That banana sign you see at the top right, it stands for banana gobblers, which pretty much signifies that every woman has this naturally sexual side to them. And if you're able to tap into that as a masculine man, then you'll be able to find a side of her that she'll be gobbling down your banana by the end of the night. And he goes on to tell stories upon stories upon stories upon stories how he's done that. And he has this, very wildly, drug-induced trips in Vegas and things like that. He lived in Vegas for a good amount of time. Crazy stories, yada, yada, yada. But that's where that comes from. So it's not like he's this fundamentally just, devout type of new religiously minded oriented person, right? He's still Donovan Sharp, okay? But it's a bit different now. It's a bit different. It's quite different now, because now the Cool Kids Club is up for the most part, right? And it's not even the Cool Kids Club, because Donovan went and did his own thing. He doesn't need the Cool Kids Club per se. But the Cool Kids Club is still the Cool Kids Club, and they still have a lot of pressure and influence, right? Because they're their Cool Kids Club. And everybody wants to be cool. Even adults. Adults all want to be cool and fit in with the cool people too. That's why they buy nice designer, luxury, and stuff like that, right? Everybody's kind of the same. So let's listen a little bit more to this. Fascinating. If you can, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank everybody for donating. If you can, donate to the channel. If you're enjoying this live stream, send a few dollars on Cash App. It can be up to, it can be a few dollars. It can be $5 if you're feeling gracious enough. Cash App to the Truth Seekers, TruthSeekers. No E at the end, only in the very beginning of that, right? Truth Seekers, SEE. No E at the end. Why? I had to spell it a little bit differently, and because somebody else had the other one, right? Obviously. So, appreciate that. And our PayPal contributors. Every donation that you give enables us to do more live streams. If you like these live streams and you want to keep seeing them every day or every other day, then we need at least 3 or 4 donators. If not, we'll go back to every 3 or 4 days. Having said that, let's get back to this message here. And I'm curious to see what Donovan still has to say. We're not even halfway through this video. I'll open up the panel. If you want to hop on the panel and kind of talk to me about this, let me go ahead and do that now, because I'll end up talking to this entire thing out, and then people will want to say something to me, and then I don't ever say something to them, and I end up feeling bad because I don't look at the comments as much as I need to. I can't, because my mind, A, doesn't let me, B, I forget to do it. To be quite frank and honest with you, I forget to do it. So if you want to hop onto the live stream panel, Donovan, if you want to hop on, you're more than welcome to hop on. There's a password. You have to download Zoom on your Android or your iPhone or your computer. The password, though, I'll give it to you right now, is lowercase EA, capital case JVD, or JV Desaline if you're familiar with our community, and then the number 6. EA, lowercase, capital case JVD, the number 6. The invitation is going to be pasted to the live stream chat. It will be pasted to or pinned to the top. That way, if you're just now coming in, you will be able to see it. If you are late, then you will be able to see it as well. I didn't know that the password automatically freaking pinned itself. Jesus, I've been typing in the password this entire time. It automatically pins itself. I tell you what, that's a beautiful thing right there. Technology is wonderful, especially when you use it for the right thing. It's fascinating to think about, ladies and gentlemen, but you can literally teach yourself to become a lawyer if one decides to actually utilize Google in the appropriate manners. Now, I don't know if you have the ability to take and pass the bar exam, or if you have the ability to get into a Juris Doctorate program, or how any of that works without having a college accredited degree, but you can, for all intents and purposes, like a lot of guys who've gone to prison to do, come out and damn near be a lawyer, man. So drop a bomb for everybody that's been taking and using technology for the appropriate measures. Drop a bomb for anybody that's met somebody of a significant other online. Have you met your significant other online? If you have, give me an email, thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. I want to hear your story, and I want to have you on to do a little bit of content. I probably won't be able to pay you, but I will be able to give you some seriously good promotion if you have a business. We're talking about over the course of the next year, you having probably 1 million to 3 million views over the course of the projected next 365 business days on this channel. That's what I'm projecting. So we're getting ready to do some serious numbers. Also, businesses, if you have a little bit of a budget to work with, because we are working with budgets now, we will need to do a little bit of a budget. We can't stay dusty forever. You can email me, thehonestTruthYT@gmail.com. Hey, we're going to turn this music, or go ahead and slide this music down a bit. Actually, it's going to go ahead and chop right now, because we're going to go ahead and get back to this. I'm going to read some of the comments. We'll get back to this. We might do a poll question. If you hop into the Zoom meeting or the Zoom panel, one thing I will ask you to do is speak, because I won't be able to see the Zoom board brought up. So if you hop into Zoom and you want to have a conversation with me, I'll just ask for you to speak. Tiffany Gilbert is here for the tea, she says. Tiffany, go ahead and make a seat. Get your lawn chair ready, my dear. You've missed a good amount, but I tell you what, we'll still have a little bit of tea for you ready. You just make sure that next time you bring some of the chips so we can munch on them. Christy Lynn says, you're my favorite. Christy, you're my favorite too, my love. I need to get a little sound that goes, ah. I need to get a little sound that goes, ah. I was making money on stocks with Trump, Stephanie Maria says. Go ahead and donate some of those stocks over this way, my dear. Go ahead and donate some of those stocks. Orchid Mantis, little cat in the box, slowly creeping and watching. Queenie says, no, the F we don't. Queenie, what in the heck, Queenie? What's going on with you, girl? Come on now, Queenie. It's all right, Queenie. Trump is a man of action. Oh, Queenie says she doesn't like Trump. Jeez, drop a bomb for Trump. Queenie doesn't like Trump. I feel you, Queenie. It's all right. Batty got such a poll question. I like those. I got to think of a poll question first. I'm not sure how long we're going to stay on, to be honest with you, because once again, I can't keep, I can't stay on too long. You know what I'm saying? Too long. How long has it been? It's been an hour. We'll stay on for a couple more minutes. You know, we get a couple donations. We'll stay on a couple longer, but if not, we'll have to keep this one a little bit shorter. I appreciate the love though. Appreciate that I'm y'all's favorites. Y'all are my favorites too. I love y'all. Y'all the best. Y'all the best. Y'all the best. All right. Let's see. Oh, are you overdosing on the red pill? Are you? Are y'all overdosing on not just the red pill? What about the other pills? Are you? This is a message that could be applied to everybody. Do you have balance in your life? I think that's an important thing, and I think that's a really important message. You know, are you balanced in your life? Are you doing things the right way? Are you not becoming extremely radical? Right. That's a good message. Good message, Mr. Sharp.
Acknowledged and exchanged. An argument is when people stoop to underhanded debate tactics for the purpose of undermining and even insulting the other person.
So an argument is pretty much that's not even an argument. That's like fighting. That's pretty much what Nyla and Taz do. You know, that's what they do. The doxing, when you stoop to really crazy levels, bringing up people's kids, bringing up people's children, bringing up people's wives like they're doing with Donovan. So now Donovan has to do something, because Donovan's not going to go bring up, Anthony Dream Johnson and put a picture of his kids up, or Anthony Dream Johnson's mom and put a picture of his mom up. Donovan's not going to do that, because that's not the type of guy Donovan is. Now, Donovan Sharp is the type of guy to go pull up on Anthony Dream Johnson and then knock him unconscious. That's the type of guy that Donovan Sharp is. But you can't do that in society today, right? Well, I mean, you can, but you're going to go to jail. And jail's not fun, y'all. Trust me. It's not fun. Especially if you go knock somebody out. You're going to go to jail for, I don't know. It depends. It depends on how much money you have and how many offenses you have. Donovan has a few, so I don't think it's in his best interest. But that's what type of dude Donovan is. But you can't get to everybody, right? So just the same thing that we're seeing happen with Nyla and Taz, a lot of people don't know where these people are at. Black Manosphere does. She's about the only one. A lot of people don't know where these people are at, though. And so they're able to move around and do all this crazy stuff and say all this crazy stuff about you. Say crazy stuff about your wife or Donovan's wife or Donovan's girlfriend or Devin, whatever their relationship. When Donovan has to look at that video every single night of them putting pictures of his wife up, calling her all kinds of names, right? Doing all this stuff, you know what I'm saying? He has to see that and then realize like, oh wait, but this girl actually like really cares about me and loves me, and these people are in the same community that I used to call my brothers, right? I mean, we were in the same community. These people boast the same belief system, and they're the ones that are doxing my wife, her family members. Literally, his wife's family members are being doxxed. I had to drop a bomb right there. And the Law and Order sound. They're doxing his wife's family. They're doxing minors as well. Yeah, 21 Studios is doxing minors, doxing children. They blur the face out, but they're talking about them in that expose video. It's all Donovan's family and stuff like that. And they're all the Manosphere. So it's wild to see that the majority, the 21 Studios, the guy who has 350,000 subscribers, the majority of the Manosphere is also corrupt by and large. When I say corrupt, they're deficient of any type of morality, right? Bringing up people's kids, bringing up people's wives, calling them all kinds of crazy names, just like Nyla said, and just like Nyla says, Cynthia, when they drill and everything like that, it's the same exact thing, right? But you, as the person that's a part of that movement, will look back at the same things that they're doing and realize, wait a second, the people that I'm running in the movement with are attacking me harder than the pervasive enemy, quote unquote. The people that we're running in these movements with end up portraying us within our community, just like they did last night with this crazed fool coming onto my panel trying to insult me, asking if I know what it is to be a woman or something, or if I know what it is because I'm a woman or something like that. So I had to kick her off the panel, right? They'll come onto the panel under the guise of being with you and then stab you in the back repeatedly. And then you're left on live stream thinking, why is my moderator sitting on my fucking live stream panel trying to make me look bad or trying to embarrass me, right? Well, it's the same concept that's going on right now with Donovan. He's just seeing it play out in real time with his life right now. And he, after going through a life-altering near-death experience, is finally starting to realize that, you know what? It may be a little different or a little bit more nuanced than we're giving it credit for. There may be a bit more to this entire dating thing. There may be a bit more to this relationship, to the women who have the ability to go out and just date whoever they want to. Now, there may be so much more to a lot of this conversation that we need to have now, because I've personally, Donovan Sharp, experienced probably the closest thing that Kevin Samuels has experienced, which is having big success and then realizing the importance of life when it's all said and done. Now, I don't foresee that Donovan is going to just completely change his message. I don't foresee that Donovan is going to just completely stop having some of the antics that he has. But I think that this is a very, very, very big, significant building block in the change that we're going to start to see, in the rhetoric that we're going to start to see in portions of the Manosphere. Not every portion, because Donovan, once again, is simply making this as a response to some of the men in the Manosphere, to some of the people who are attacking him. He will be standing alone on this island, but as we see in the comment section, there are men who actually support this. As Walker, Texas Ranger says, one of your best videos. And I actually like this comment. It can be really hard on a man's psyche knowing the truth about female nature when he wants to create and build a family and legacy. There's a point where so much intake of the red pill knowledge can overwhelm you. At that point, you have to accept it for what it is, take a break, and learn to move yourself and move on. Do not give up on women, but always let the red pill knowledge guide you when dealing with women. I liked it for the sake of actually I don't agree with the entire comment, so before y'all freaking go and crucify me, right? I liked it for the simple sake of I want to see a little bit more of a normal reactionary change happen. That's what I like in that. I like to see that there's conversations that we set out to actually start, right? Which is that, thank you whoever donated on CASHAPP. I appreciate that. Which is that, hey, we need some of these guys who are simply sitting online talking cash money shit. Make no mistake about it. Donovan Sharp has talked cash money shit about women and specifically black women. Make no mistake about it. But in the same notion, I have to make sure, right? I have to make sure that there's a little bit of change happening. Let's go ahead and support that for a second, right? Not support it. Let's bring it to light for a second And let's talk about it, because what's happening over there is the same thing that's happening over here. And it's kind of the enemy of my enemy is my friend technique. We definitely don't all agree with Donovan, right? But the comments are interesting. Comments are interesting. Info Vector said, guys in the space needed to hear this message, and I've been trying to say something similar to this. All too many guys sit online and complain about women, but are doing nothing for themselves, but somehow think they'll give an average girl who respect them. All these guys doing is being loud, causing people to think red pill is a bunch of incels or bad men. You see, the same things that are happening in that community is what's happening here. They're having a bad name made for themselves because there is a lot of guys who aren't doing anything better with their lives, right? The same thing that's happening with the true divestment community. The pink pillars, I don't know, whoever else you consider to be a true divestment community are starting to get bad names because of Cynthia, Nyla, and because of other severely radical divestors who have said some severely horrible things. Now, does that mean that Donovan Sharp or Cynthia have not said some good, spot on, 100% on the money things? I'm sure that they have. Even the devil has said a few different truths that Jesus was able to acknowledge. Even the devil is right. Even a broken clock is right 2 times a day. I get that. I know that's a gaslighting type of thing because Cynthia G says a lot that's factually correct, right? Cynthia G does say a lot of factually correct things. However, Cynthia G's energy behind it, her language behind it, her vibrato behind it, and the message really that she has is a bit more sadistic than I think it needs to be, and that's the problem that a lot of people have, and that's why some of the women or some of the divestment or some of that community gets a bad name, because when you say things like Donovan Sharp said of, oh, I wish that woman would say something to me, I would knock her teeth out. When you say things like Cynthia G says of, oh, let's just abort all black male babies, and Pink Pill needs to come up and clarify that, no, that's not what Cynthia G, that's not what I said. I said that we need to just stop making black male babies if that's the case, not to abort the ones that you irresponsibly or responsibly or however you want to see it, because I know everybody lives on a different plane when it comes down to pro-choice or not pro-choice. I'm not getting in the middle of that. You got that damn right. I am crazy. I'm not a fool. Having said that, it doesn't matter where exactly you stand in that, right? We're still seeing the same exact type of thing happen. And that is that somehow the good ones, quote unquote, got disregarded. Somehow the good ones who started everything were able to get thrown away, right? I don't even know what I was talking about right then and there. Thank you for whoever donated on Cash App once again. That person said, you know what, I want a longer show. So let me go ahead and, that wasn't even a Cash App donation, yo. That was a freaking alert on my phone, yo. I'm thinking somebody who didn't even donate. Anyways, okay, Bitcoin. Oh, Jesus. Oh, yo. Oh, yo. People donated. Okay, people donated tonight. I want to send a huge thank you to, I'm not going to dox anybody. Let me not dox anybody. I want to share and donate to, I'll say the Mart. You'll know who I'm talking about. The Mart. And the Mart Inn. I want to say a huge shout out. Thank you, the Mart Inn, for that donation that you gave. The 5, thank you. As well as Jame. Thank you, Jame. You know who you are. These are both ladies as well, so I have to kind of mask your names for obvious reasons. Thank you all for the donations. 2 big contributions tonight. That means we're going to keep the show going, ladies and gentlemen. We do have more to talk about, but that's what we're seeing, right? It's fascinating, actually, as a matter of fact. It's fascinating. So Donovan now has to backtrack, right? Now, I said I wasn't going to show this, but I think for the sake of time, it has to be showed, because y'all need to see and people need to understand. People need to understand just how bad. And once again, the reason I show this is because this is the same thing, man, that's happening. This is the same thing that's happening, man, in our community. And it's wild, man. Absolutely wild. Language warning, ladies and gentlemen. Language warning, trigger warning. This is kind of intense, okay? This is kind of intense.
Another man's offspring, relationship is going to end at some point, because single mothers are the beta males. These are the lower rung men.
Keep in mind, Donovan Sharp, this entire time he's talking about single mothers and single women and this and that, is with a woman who who is from what the video is saying, right? So this is another reason why they're going so hard on them, because they're saying, well, you are speaking about not being with single mothers, but you are allegedly with a single mother, right? This is what the video says. This is all alleged. They've done all the research, y'all.
They wanted you back when you were 22 and 23 and young and childless and hot. But when you're in your mid to
Now, they're playing this because what they end up doing is showing Donovan's. Now, this is the guy on the left-hand side here is a name by David West, okay? I need to just break this down. The guy on the left-hand side is the guy by the name of David West. David West is also part of the Manosphere. That's David West's wife beside him, right? They have children, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if Donovan Sharp said something about David West or whatever it might be, but that's why they're showing him. And then on the right-hand side is Devin, which is Donovan Sharp's girlfriend or wife, right? That's Donovan Sharp's girlfriend or wife in that case, right? And so they're trying to say, oh, well, look at your girlfriend and wife. Now, that's a bad angle. I think this is a bad angle. This is a bad picture, a bad angle. This is a bad everything in this case right here, right? This is a bad picture, bad angle, bad everything. But these people are not playing, man. Woo! Y'all, I tell y'all, if you want to be a content creator, man, you got to be ready, because they are coming after everything. They are coming after everything that you love and you hold near and dear. You can't be just tough skin. You got to be a mental monster to be a content creator in 2022. This is brutal, right? So they put his wife.
Chase bad boys. She's a Karen that was ran through like everybody else, was a single mom. And this explains why this explains why David West is as weak as he is. But yeah, David, listen, man. I'm not trying to be mean-spirited, but you married a single mom. Like, come on, man. That doesn't make you a bad dude. And Cassie, you being a single mom when you married David, that doesn't make you a bad person either. Just understand that it's out there.
So what's happening, ladies and gentlemen? What's happening? What's happening is a lot of the things that Donovan Sharp said are coming back to bite him. Hey, y'all get a load of that. Look at this. Right when I started speaking about things that Donovan Sharp said is biting him, who is that in the TV you see? Look at that. Jesus. Yo, I just got like chills, yo. It's crazy, man. Donovan Sharp said a lot of stuff, man. A lot of stuff. And the words that he said are the words that are being used right now against him. The words that he said are the words being used right now against him. Right? When he's talking about David West's being with a single mom and this, and that, and they went and found a picture of his wife and her previous family. You talking cash money, cash-ish about a whole bunch of people. But then they put you on blast. But on top of that, guess what? That also affects her. That affects her. And if he cares, if Donovan cares about her, if Donovan loves her, then his message has to change. Because he loves her. You see how that works? Man, dude, let's read some comments for a section. Let's read some comments for a bit. JJ stopped by to show some love. Thank you, JJ, for supporting the channel. We got to drop some bombs. We're dropping 3 bombs. My goodness. Whew. My goodness, that is insane. 3 bombs for our 3 big donators tonight. We have 3 big contributors tonight, keeping the show on the air. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful 90 degrees. It's 91 degrees, ladies and gentlemen. Another bomb, last bomb for our last donator. 1040 in the great state of Texas, 90 degrees. Listen, the news I've been bringing has been just absolutely remarkably wild. An arrest has been made in a fatal graduation shooting, ladies and gentlemen. 6 hours ago, this was made by the Associated Press. Arrest has been made in the fatal graduation shooting in New Orleans. Authorities have arrested 1 of 4 people. One in the fatal shooting of last month of a student's grandmother outside of a New Orleans high school graduation ceremony that was held at a local university. Brandon Rock, 18, made his first court appearance on Saturday. Jail records showed he was arrested on Friday on counts of manslaughter, illegally carrying a weapon on school property. Bond set at $750,000. He's not getting out anytime soon. What you're seeing on the ground is a SCCY 9mm pistol. It's a cheaper pistol. They can be had for about $229. This was found on the campus of Xavier University in New Orleans. It's not clear whether Rock has an attorney, whether he could afford one himself. Rock is one of 4 suspects identified by New Orleans police in Friday connection with the fatal shooting of 80-year-old Augustine Greenwood, who was shot in the head as she walked toward her family's car following her grandchild's graduation ceremony on May 31st. Still at large is 40-year-old Laverne Duplessis, who was wanted for manslaughter, obstruction of justice, and illegally carrying a weapon on school property. Also, 49-year-old Frank Bartholomew, who faces a charge of obstruction of justice, and a 15-year-old juvenile, whose name hasn't been disclosed. The teenager faces a charge of illegally carrying a gun on school property. Ladies and gentlemen, we often speak about carrying and making sure that you protect yourself and your Second Amendment rights. Carry a blade, get some kind of pepper spray. I was speaking with a member of the channel today, ladies and gentlemen, who said that she got into a confrontation. She hopped into a vehicle, and she said that somebody tried to hop into her Uber. When she hopped into the Uber, this man was of some sort of a homeless look or some sort of a very distressed look. He hopped into the vehicle. Fortunately, her Uber driver was a man who was able to help her. Shout out to that man who was an Uber driver who looked after one of our compadres. Our lady who was a member of the channel does not have anything, but she did have pepper spray. However, ladies and gentlemen, pepper spray is sometimes not good enough to fend off grown men. Thank God that there was another man. The Uber driver was a man, but that situation could have turned out very bad. Make sure you get at least a knife at the very least to accompany yourself with the pepper spray, no longer than the wrist or through the diameter or the length of your palm, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and go back to the story. 5 gang members facing more than 50 charges for trying to rob and kill a victim. This happened in Atlanta. I was doing Minority Report, and I stopped doing Minority Report because it became increasingly clear that it would just pretty much, be painstakingly boring at this point because of our brothers really just out there so desolate in some areas of the country. We'll speak more about that later on. Donovan Sharp is starting to feel what happens when you not necessarily pander too much, but it is a sense of not necessarily seeing the errors of one side of the community or addressing the other side of the community. You see, what happens in the communities and what happens with content creators is that once they start making money, once you get to 100 and something odd thousand people, once you get to 379,000, that's the subscriber count of the people who are doxing Donovan Sharp and his family right now. Donovan Sharp is going up against somebody with 400,000 subscribers. Now, granted, this video only has 12,000 views, but every single one of those 12,000 views is probably in support. Look at the comments. The comments say it's cute how they're still pretending they're not married. So understand, Donovan is sticking up for the right thing. Understand, Black Womansphere is sticking up for the right thing now, because they are no longer able to continue preaching their message. It does not fit into their personal life agendas anymore. It doesn't fit into that anymore. Donovan Sharp, when he became deathly ill, needed his wife or girlfriend to save his life damn near. He was almost dead. Another comment said going in on other men for dealing with rinsed out, ran through, used up women. This is what they're saying about his wife. This is what people in the red pill, his own Manosphere community, are saying about his wife. They're calling her a rinsed up, ran through, used up woman, while at the same time doing it himself and trying to keep it a secret. This is beyond disgraceful. I'm glad you're exposing him for the ultimate fraud that he is. Imagine you being a part of the Manosphere, saying that you're a Manosphere content creator like Donovan Sharp is, and then people in the Manosphere as well are calling your wife rinsed up and used. Yo. Whew. Yo, Donovan has almost died this year, has pretty much had to disconnect himself, alienate himself from the community that he rose from the ground. Somebody said this: to think he sells language course for understanding women, yet it translates to him marrying a 46 plus single mother ex-stripper. Haha, question mark. Yo, they're just now they didn't meet when she was 46. They met when she was younger. But even if Donovan did meet her when she was 46, who cares? like you understand, this is a portion of the manosphere. There's a portion of the divested community that simply wants to see the world burn. I was trying to press the button and I couldn't find it. I was like, where's the... I needed the bomb so badly right there. Thank you for your donations. Because I'm going to upgrade your... There's a portion of these communities that are radicalized and simply want to see the world burn. They don't want to see you in a happy relationship. They don't want to see you doing okay in life. They don't want to see you dating a good black man because he's black. You see what I mean? So the ludicrousity, is that the word? Somebody put the word in the chat. The ludicrousness of this is that actual progression or solution is decentivized by the masses. I'm getting too, too whatever for right now. So let's bring it back, because I can't get too philosophical on this one. If you like the philosophical streams, though, put a 1 in the chat. I want to know if you like. Oh, also, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you like the video. Put a thumbs up. Like the video. Please stop right now and like the video. Please stop right now. Like the video. Like the video. If you haven't already liked the video. All right. I know that's annoying, but we got to get the likes up just to make sure. Thank y'all. So, 1 in the chat if you like the philosophical when I try and take it to like my most extreme levels of mental capacity. I think we will do that. I'm going to make a stream coming up here in a little bit, and I'm going to call it my mental limits. And it's going to be talking about everything that we kind of usually talk about, but at the most deep level of thought I could possibly reach. So if you want to, it might be really boring. I don't know. It might be really fun. It might be really boring. It's probably going to be really boring. But if you want to watch that, 1 in the chat. And I'll start working on the mental limit stream for the true intellects on our channel, for the people who really like to dig deep and question existence, right? So we'll have that coming up soon, because I do think along those lines. Let's see. Somebody said, these are hilarious. Keep them coming. Somebody said, this is why I laugh when guys say pump and dump. Somebody said, once he started showing pictures of his girl scantily clad first, I was like, she's average at best. That's what Kevin said. They just used a line that Kevin Samuels said on his wife. Wait a second. Y'all aren't understanding how crazy this is. Donovan Sharp was actually friends with Kevin Samuels. You just saw a picture while we were listening to this podcast and while I was speaking not even 10 minutes ago of Kevin Samuels and Donovan Sharp on the wall on Donovan Sharp's TV. And somebody used Kevin Samuels' insult on Donovan. You see what I mean when I say this shit goes full circle? Donovan knew Kevin in real life and they were friends. And the internet of the community that Donovan started used Kevin's words that was friends with Donovan in real life to shit on Donovan's real life wife. You can't make this shit up. Those are your brothers. That's your sisters in the divestment community. Woo! You can't make this up, man. Make sure we get the likes up. We got 33 likes. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. Get the likes up. We need more likes. We need more likes. Donovan Sharp knows Kevin in real life, and they're using the insults. Let me show y'all again. This is what we just got done looking at. That's Kevin Samuels and Donovan Sharp when they did this thing that Donovan Sharp did called one-on-one. In the right hand of the corner, right? And right here, you see a comment. I have to take this off so I can zoom in. And right here, you see a comment of somebody saying average at best. She's average at best. Some of y'all don't know anything of what I'm talking about right now, so I'm going to go ahead and just type in average at best for you real quick, all right? I'm going to go ahead and just type in average at best for you. Some of y'all don't know what I'm talking about right now. When you type in average at best, the gentleman that comes up is none other than, sorry about the intro, y'all, Kevin Samuels. The same man that is sitting on the television with Donovan Sharp. I want to give a huge shout out to the mods in the chat right now for keeping this live stream going and keeping everything cordial in the chat. Okay, I see y'all want the mental mind stream. I see a few of y'all want it. Somebody said I'm missing Trump. Let them all turn on each other, Smart Cookie says. Man, it's crazy. If you don't vote Democrat, you ain't black. We have Joe Biden in the chat. Thank you, Joe. President Joe, thank you, Joe. They don't want peace. I don't want peace. I want war always. Have y'all seen that video? That's what we need to get. We need to have the African, I don't want peace, I want war always meme. I don't want peace. We need to get the African general as a meme for the next one, y'all. All right, we're missing out.
I don't want peace. I want problems. I don't want peace. I want problems always.
There you go. Say it with your chest, little nigga. I don't want peace. I want problems always. Amiri Brown is live right now. Amiri Brown's live. Definitely go check out Amiri Brown right now. I'm going to get the meme game definitely. We got to get the meme game definitely up a little bit for sure. Let me write this in my notes. Oh, my phone. My phone's right there. F it. They don't want peace. Yo, that's crazy, man. Jesus. We're going to continue a little bit on with this, all right? Continue a little bit on with this. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Women. You're the guy who likes watching Myron Gaines cook these 304s on Fresh and Fit After Hours, but doesn't watch his Money Mondays podcast.
Oh, so Donovan Sharp has pretty much been watching us for the most part. Donovan Sharp's been watching, all right? Because that's the same thing we've been saying. Let me go to my video where I said that. Donovan Sharp, you've been watching, bro. Okay, I didn't know that. So this is why I say they do watch. These content creators watch us over here. They watch me specifically. People say that all the time. I don't say that just to say that. But Donovan's right. We point out all the time. I mean, of course Donovan's right because he got that from us. We point out all the time, and we saw on Fresh and Fit, right? They have hundreds of thousands of views of them kicking out the girls. And then the video of them talking about real estate had like 17,000 views. And it was a black guy. It was a black guy that was talking about real estate. Ain't no excuses, my niggas. No excuses. Y'all don't want to make more money. Y'all don't want to make more money in the real estate game. Y'all just want to see the girls get kicked out. And that's what Donovan's saying. But it's true because now Donovan's wife is one of the girls they're trying to kick out.
You're the guy who loved watching Kevin Samuels humble black women every night, but have no idea that he was also an image consultant who was very good at his job and quite intelligent. Don't get me wrong. It is great fun watching Miami Yacht Thoughts getting humiliated by the truth.
Ah, okay. That's where you messed up. It was fun watching women get humiliated. It was very fun for those guys. But you see with great power, Donovan, you know the rest. You see, with us, we have an obligation, not just with us, but even with the people that support us, right? Because the people that support us can go out and do real life damage too. Y'all watching right now have real careers. As a matter of fact, I talked to some of y'all, and y'all have real careers. Some of y'all work for the government and everything. So I ain't going to mess with some of y'all. I'm glad that y'all support me. I ain't going to get on some of y'all's bad side. Some of y'all can really mess people up in real life for real, right? Respect. And you understand the importance of living your life a certain way, you see? It was fun, like Donovan said. Kudos to him for being honest, of seeing women getting kicked out and this, and that. It was fun. But it's not fun when the rabbit's got a gun now. It's not fun when it's you on the other side of the spectrum. It's not fun when it's your wife on the other side of the spectrum getting kicked out of the cool girls club, of the cool kids club. You know what I mean?
It's even more fun to actually be a part of it, as I have been more than a few times. But if the only videos you watch are the ones that talk negatively about women, you're going to overdose very quickly. Yes, there are many things awry with modern women. Nobody's disputing that. But believe it or not, there are women out there who do have redeeming qualities, however rare they may be. And if you're out here filling your headspace with nothing but negative content, then you run the risk of genuinely hating women. At that point, you'd actually really be a misogynist. So try to diversify your RP portfolio, guys, so you don't end up becoming a black-pilled doom and gloomer. That
I literally haven't even watched this video. I didn't watch this part, and we spoke about the transition from red pill to black pill, from making yourself a better man, what the red pill is supposed to be, to black pill, dooming and glooming, and there's no hope now. And then those are the guys that end up taking their lives, like the renegade guy that we talked about last year, the red pill content creator that ended up killing himself. He was a YouTuber. We talked about him last year. It was the live stream, I think, Hatred Begets Hatred or something like that, or Manosphere content creator takes his own life. Anyways, you can look it up. It's in the archive. Maybe it's members only. I don't know. If you want to become a member, click the $, the super chat $, donate button, and join, become a member. And then go to my channel page, and there's a membership tab. You can click that, and the video will be there. But Donovan said the same exact thing, and that's what Donovan sees. But not just Donovan, that's what the government sees as well. So it's a little bit of that. These guys do know that the feds are watching, and the feds are legitimately watching right now. I'm not just saying that just to say that. The feds are watching us, and they're watching the space. They're trying to see who is radicalizing people and how they can stop the radicalization if they deem it to be radicalization. They're absolutely watching right now. What do you mean? YouTube is the main media central now. People aren't turning on the TVs. People are turning on their phones, and they're watching TV stations on their phones, but they're turning on their phones.
is a miserable existence. Be realistic, but don't be a doomer. It will affect you more than you realize, and not in a good way, which leads me to the next symptom, which is closely related, which is you don't seek solutions. All you do is complain. Most people are aware of the phrase, admitting you have a problem is the first step in solving the problem. It's often used in reference with 12-step program.
I remember a guy came on one time, and I'm going to keep this thing playing while we talk. I remember a guy came on, and D, some of y'all will remember D, and D was talking to me about, black women being overweight. D was telling me about, black women always wanting to do this and black women always doing that. But he was speaking very specifically on this weight issue, and I was always so puzzling to me. So the second or the third time he came into the panel, I said, okay, D, you come onto the panel, and Organic Black remembers this 2 or 3 times now. I said, what are you doing to help black women solve their weight issue? Because this is the thing you keep trying to talk to me about, and I'm getting tired of hearing this issue that you're having with black women, because I don't look everywhere and see overweight black women. But if you were to listen to this guy for a while, listen to him tell it, he would come onto my live streams and be like, black women are this, and then they're overweight. They don't understand that the 60% of them that are overweight, and then this, and he'd say one other point, and he'd come right back to another overweight statistic. I said, okay, D, so tell me about your weight. So I asked him about himself, right? Now, he said he's 6'4", and that he's, pretty much carved out of marble, or something I always say. He's Greek god carved out of marble. So he's a gym rat, 6'4", this, and that. He's the elite level. And so in my mind, I said, well, D, it would make sense to me that if I'm 6'4", and I have a body that belongs in a gym or on the stage of Mr. Olympia, and I see a problem with people's weights, my natural inclination would be to become a personal trainer and or to make money off of my body and the knowledge I have of how to make my body or make a body that resembles my body. That's a solution to the problem, and in that you can actually start to make money. You can start to do a whole bunch of other stuff. Look at that. Things can get amazing, right? So I said, D, I think that you should go ahead and start figuring out a solution to this problem you had. And his response was to tell me, oh, I don't have a problem. That's not my problem. Black women's weight's not my problem. So I said, wait a second. I said, how is black women's weight not your problem when for the past 3 live streams you've come onto my panel, and no matter what my topic is, you somehow managed to bring the weight of black women into discussion. Shout out to, who is this, JFK? I don't know. somehow you managed to bring in the weight of black women in discussion. It sounds like this problem that isn't a problem of yours is a pretty significant problem of yours, because this is the only thing we managed to talk about. And no matter what I say, no matter how many times I say it, no matter how clever I bring this up to you, what's with all these presidents? Who are all these presidents, Donovan? Who's that? Can somebody tell me who this is? Is that a president? Yo, I'm tripping. I think that is a president. I have no idea who it is, though. Yo, $2 Cash App for me, because I'm doing bad, y'all, for the first person that can name that president. So he's like, oh, that's not my problem. I said, okay, it's not your problem. I said, but you talk about it all the time. He said, no, I only talk about it because that's Bill Clinton. I know that's Bill Clinton. Yeah, Bill Clinton, he smokes. So I know that's Bill Clinton. Don't judge me. What? So I know that you say that this isn't a problem, but every time we're here, you bring up this issue that you have. And he said, well, I only do this because women need to be held accountable for this, and that. I say, okay, so this accountability in your mind is the need to continuously bring up the fact that they're overweight, but you don't have any type of interest in actually becoming a part of the solution to not have to have this conversation for anymore. And that like completely went over his head. It was like, no matter how many times I tried to say that point, that you don't feel that this is something of some sort of problem that you can have yourself tied to a solution with as well. Like there's nothing that you can tie to yourself to this problem that you bring up repeatedly, right? I mean, it was like he just completely washed his hands of all responsibility. Like, oh, hey, they're overweight. It is what it is. But he was continuously pointing in the face of, oh, you. So it's like a bully just always pointing at you and be like, oh, hey, you're this. Oh, hey, your shoes. Hey, you're this. Hey, you're that. Or somebody that's always telling you. You ever have a friend that always points out something negative, or a friend that always says like, oh, you need to do this? Or you ever have a friend that sees you drop something but doesn't tell you about it? Or like you forget your phone somewhere, and then when you get to that place, they're like, oh yeah, you did leave your phone over here. You're like, why didn't you tell me while we were there? Why are you just now telling me that I left my phone? You ever had a friend like that did some weird stuff like that? That kept records? Donovan's little outro is pretty clean. Look, there's Devin right there. Look at that. Donovan and Devin, happy as can be. Proof that it's good to have a good woman by your side. Look at that. You ever had a friend like that where you're like, why are you on some F stuff time with me right now? I'm going to keep my eye on you. Right? Just playing sneaky. I don't like people like that. I can't stand people like that. I've never been that type of person. Never. I never have. I never will be that type of person. Never say never, but I never will be that type of person. That's kind of like what's going on right here, right? That's kind of like what's going on right here. That's kind of like what was going on with D. He was always pointing in the face of, oh, well, this, oh. So now what? Are you going to continuously point in the face forever? Because I'll tell you what happens. It's eventually you're going to point in somebody's face that's going to either point back in your face, or they're going to point something back at your face, especially in 2022, right? Now, online, it's a bit different. D, I'm sure in real life, isn't walking up to black women and telling them, or women in general, and telling them that they're overweight. I'm sure he's not doing that. Online, they have the ability to do that, though, right? Online, they have the ability to actually find Donovan Sharp and his wife's information offline, right? You see, what's so fascinating about this entire situation is the fact that this entire situation was created, the monster was literally created by the person that is having a hard time dismantling it right now. Just like Manosphere is having a hard time dismantling, Nyla says, Cynthia G, Taz, and she is becoming a bit frustrated, and we're getting ready to rejoin in a lot of that battle. Not on necessarily the same playing field as Black Manosphere, because I don't like a lot of the stuff that she's done as well, right? Just like I'm sure she don't like a lot of the stuff I've done. We'll use the enemy of my enemy as my friend concept as we move forward with her, right? But it's this weird kind of Frankenstein type of creation where you fought so hard to bring life. You fought so hard to bring the success of this thing that you believed in, and you put your time and your resources into it. And you knew that maybe it might not be the best or even the most morally right thing to do, but you cared for it so much, you were driven so much by it, that you were willing to take the moral dip for the essence and for the sake of science. Until you found yourself in dire straits at the hands of the creation that has their hands firmly around your neck, and it's choking you slowly, and slowly your resources of the same entity that you fought to create, slowly the resources of the same thing that you so assuredly formulated to so cleverly create, now has you by the vices and is now tormenting you. You see, I saw this starting to happen a bit for me and in my life, and I decided to go ahead and flip things around really quickly. I said, no, you're not going to get me like that. A, I'm too smart. B, I don't give a fuck. You're not going to get me like that. C, I'm righteous. I'm sorry about cursing, y'all. I really don't mean to curse. So I've been working on that. C, I'm righteous, right? Yo, I heard somebody one time, I think it was a coach, right? He was like, A, we need to get better control the ball. 2, we need to go ahead and make sure that our defense go ahead. And C, we need to go ahead and make sure our substitutions. And the news reporter was like, what was something like that. So it was really funny. He went A to C. 1, 2, 3, A, B, C. 1 times something is you and me. Shout out to Michael Jackson. Don't create the monsters that lie under your bed, ladies and gentlemen. Some of y'all are in relationships. Some of y'all are talking to people right now. Some of y'all are doing things. Some of y'all are working at jobs. Some of you have careers. Some of you are in different areas. Some of you are living in certain situations that you know you're not supposed to be living in, and you dance around as if it's morally. Hold on, let me make sure my audio's not messed up. Let me make sure my camera's not messed up. Because I know whenever we do stuff like that the stuff starts messing up. You dance around and feels like that. Okay, whoever's calling me, I'll call you back. You dance around and feels as if everything is everything is okay because you're making money on YouTube, or because you're making money offline, or because you're this, or because you're that. And that simply cannot be further from the case. You need to wake up and smell, quite literally, you need to wake up and smell the roses. No pun intended. And I'm not for the audio listeners, if you're not watching on audio, or if you're not watching on video, there's a woman on the screen right now who's standing in a rose or a field full of roses. And she's just twirling around, and it's a beautiful day, and this and that. However, it is beautiful until it starts raining, and those roses are not going to be in the field all year long. Yes, it's good to get out in the field and enjoy the roses while you can, but what makes enjoying the day, enjoying the roses, enjoying the field so amazing is because you understand that isn't going to be there forever. And so when you do have that, then you can understand and prepare more tumultuously, or I'm sorry, you can more assuredly prepare for the storm when it hits. But you see, Donovan didn't understand the storm that was getting ready to hit. You see, Donovan assumed that everything was going to stay nice and rosy in this field forever. But in the same aspect or essence that it takes to have a field this beautiful, to have a field this ripe and this harvestful, it also takes a very, 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 very large amount of work to maintain a lifestyle that could afford you to live in this type of area. Whether it means that you are growing your own food, doing this, doing that, you need to be self-sufficient enough and diligent enough to understand what living in a field like this takes, what it actually takes to have these types of messages or beliefs. Because you have to understand something. If you're going on the internet, if you're putting out a word that is radical, right? That is radical as Donovan has put out. And I'm not going to repeat some of the things that Donovan has said, but he has made a bed of roses for himself monetarily that he could lay in. He has made a very nice field for himself. I mean, if you look at the studio that he has here, even that mic arm that you see that's swinging back and forth, if you see his camera slowly panning. Like I don't know if y'all can notice, but you see his camera, like when we zoom or go in between the scenes there, you see how it moves. He has that device cost probably $300 or $400 for that device right there, for your camera to slowly move back and forth. He's doing very well. His studio cost at least $40,000 or $50,000. The studio and all the equipment that he has, you can't see, but on the other side of that equipment, he's got like 4 mega-sized Mac computer screen TVs. And it's wild how crazy expensive it is. He's made a ton of money from this field of roses that he's laid for himself. But once again, he's starting to see right now that that field is going to take a lot of personal time, effort, and torment to tend to. You want a bed full of roses sometimes, depending on what style of roses they are, Donovan, the style of roses that you made for yourself, it's going to take a good amount from you, man. It's going to take a good amount from you. And that's the unfortunate truth about these situations. That's the unfortunate truth about what's going on with Donovan right now. And that's the unfortunate reality of life. A lot of the times, some of y'all miss it and some of us miss it. Is that when you do stand in something, not all money is good money. We've heard that before. When you do stand in something, there are reasons for the seasons, and some people change like the seasons, right? When you do stand in something a little bit longer than you're supposed to, then you will reap the negative repercussions of that, right? When you do stand in something that you're not even supposed to be standing in to begin with, you're going to reap the negative repercussions of that, even if initially it gives you positives. For instance, selling drugs initially will make you a good amount of money. However, if you continue to sell and peddle drugs, eventually something negative, most likely extremely negative, is going to happen to you. As a matter of fact, it's almost assured that something negative is going to happen to you, more so than something positive will happen to you continuously, because that's simply the nature of what that is. We know the nature of the manosphere, and we even know the nature of the radical divesteds. There's an issue with that. They even know the issue with that. But once again, they're held so firmly to their message and belief that they are willing to, for as long as they can, accept the thorn in the roses. Because yes, the rose is beautiful. Yes, the message and being able to build a podcast studio to share the messages of how bad women are and single moms and everything like that is beautiful, until once again you find a woman that is special enough to you, that has a child, that is beautiful to you, that you find attractive, that you decide to go ahead and get into a relationship. It's 100% until it's not 100%. And that's what people are starting to see, and that's what Donovan Sharp even saw. And I tell you what, if Donovan Sharp could see that, then just about everybody in the world could see that, because Donovan Sharp saying the messages that he's saying right now is literally the last person I would have ever given in the manosphere to be speaking on what he's speaking about right now. Sorry about that, y'all. Which is that the red pill overdose is happening with, in his words, some men. Now, he said majority of the men are doing good and making themselves better. That's not true. And he knows that's not true either, but he's not there yet. Just like Black Womensphere knew it wasn't true. Just like Black Womensphere knew it wasn't true when she was trying to defend Cynthia G. She just wasn't there yet to actually go after Cynthia G, because Cynthia G hadn't taken enough time to pick a side. But after Cynthia G picked a side, Black Womensphere vehemently went after Cynthia G. Black Womensphere was like, okay, yeah, F that B too. We were like, okay, I thought Cynthia was okay. She was like, no, F that B. All right.
Yes.
Listen, we're not even there to talk about that right now. We got a lot to talk about with that. I want to thank everybody for supporting the channel. For our channel donators and contributors for letting this live stream keep going on the airwaves. That means a lot. I hope that you're enjoying and getting something out of that. I'm going to read some of those comments. I try and give legitimate messages. Hey, I know somebody donated on the super chat, so let me try and find that super chat there. That was Matifi. That was Matifi or Matify. Greetings from Europe. That is the $10 pound. We're going to go with pound. What's the other currency they have in Europe, y'all? Greetings from Europe, Matifi says. I appreciate that super chat, Matifi. Smart Cookie says, since when did dropping out of college make you intelligent? Well, Smart Cookie, I did drop out of college. I'm not going to lie. But I think I was pretty smart before I dropped out of college. I will say, though, that there was something that happened, and I talked about this briefly, maybe in a members-only live stream, or maybe if you book a consultation through me. If anybody wants to book a consultation, I have done one consultation before, and I think it helped, so we'll see. I do consultations. You can email me, thehonesttruthyt@gmail.com. If you just want to talk to me or talk to somebody and you're lonely, I'm not going to charge you for it. Just email me, and I'll call you. It's just, I'll call you from my personal number, so just don't blow up my phone. All right. Maybe I'll call you from my Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi phone doesn't work as well. Estrella says, I love peace. It's part of the reasons why I'm a loner. Okay. Orchid says, they don't want accountability, LOL. Ebony Locke says, does anybody really want peace? Ooh. Ebony, that's a good question. Good question. Estrella says, they sound like a cult. Smart Cookie says, let them all turn on each other. Oh, yeah, I've looked at those comments. Let me scroll down. Okay, some people don't want that debt. Batty guy was laughing. That white lady looks like it's from the movie Midsummer. Even though black women mistreating me my entire life. I really don't want to see them go out just from following dumbasses like Nyla and Sin. Yeah, no, facts. No, I feel you. I feel that. For real. For real. Estrella, are you a guy or a girl? I'm confused, Estrella. Estrella is star, but Estrella is usually a name for a girl in Spanish cultures. Smart Cookie is enjoying this. Angel in the building says most white women who, according to BMI, are overweight are actually overweight. I'm in America, Indiana now. So Angel says most white women who are, I think she says who are underweight are actually overweight. Yeah, the BMI, the body mass index from 1890 or 1870 something is just wild. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to do that. It's wild, right? Maybe Donovan saw that as well. Yo, Donovan literally said exactly what we've been saying on this live stream. I know he's been watching. Oh, but I already knew he was watching, though. And everybody else watches. I'm not freaking out or fanboying. I'm just saying it's just a trip to me. When we did the video of him after he got out of the hospital, when he was in the hospital, we made the video. When he got out in that video addressing us, where is it? I didn't put it up here. I'll go back to it. When he got out in that video addressing us and everything, he was responding to some of the things that I said. And he was saying, like, people are talking about me saying things like my message is going to change. He said that in this video. He said my message is not going to change. Let me find it. Man, y'all are going to believe me sooner or later. Everybody's going to hear what I have to say. You have to. I know it's the truth. I know it's the truth.
Goddamn, my hands are all shaky and shit. Just give me a second, guys. Give me a second here. Who was there, and he had exactly the same thing I did. He looked just fine. He was eating well. He was sleeping. He had kind of a cold, but other than that, he felt great. And I'm, 2-3 beds down. I'm like, dude, I feel like crap. It's coming out of both ends. We have the same thing. We're in the same ward. So it was weird. And he didn't get the poke. So it really.
Donovan was vaxxed.
That's one thing that I learned is that it affects different people in different ways. It is not a one size fits all.
So he's talking about the cerveza virus and his near death pretty much experience, y'all. Let me try and find the clip I'm talking about of him saying, I'm not going to change the message.
Economically wise, if I'm dead, he loses a customer, right? So it would behoove him it would be in his best interest financially to try to keep me alive, And plus, I like Dr. Rick. He's a good. I'm going to get some I got to make sure she's not in here. All right, she's not watching. I think what I might do is I might get some WD-40. I'll have to sneak it past her somehow. But I'll get like some WD-40 and, spray down the hinges so it doesn't make any sound.
So he's talking about Devin was holding him hostage in a room because she was taking care of him right now. So for all you guys who want to, die alone, enjoy it.
But Walter follows me into the studio, so I'm going to have to. Yeah, I'm going to have to come up with a plan. This is going to have to be like Mission Impossible. I got to get in there, dude. I fucking got to get in there. She let me go in there so I could limit the chat, but I got to get in there. I gotta break into my own goddamn studio. But real talk, guys. This has really helped my mind sort of relax. And blood pressure is back to normal, and we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Maybe not.
So I'm gonna try to be back on the air on Wednesday. I'm gonna take the rest of the day off and just relax. I'm gonna go downstairs. and maybe watch a movie or two with Dev and get some good rest. Let me read these super chats. Oh, King Life. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah. Benjamin Newkirk is in the house. Good to see you in here, man. Welcome to chat.
So I don't know if we're gonna be able to find it. We'll see.
Dude, I'm gonna have to do this is really gonna have to be like Mission Impossible. I'm gonna disable the camera. I'm trying to tell you. Let's
see.
I gotta get in there. I'm really the cat's out of the bag. So I'm going to have to come up with another plan. For supporting me, man, I'm going to try my damnedest to be back on the air the day after tomorrow. I'm gonna try to take the rest of the day off. I might do a little bit of housekeeping with, with content and Patreon. Hopefully Dev is not.
So I don't know if we're gonna be able to find him saying that, but just take my word for it.
Hospital since then.
Usually I'm pretty good finding stuff in the.
So I got my first poke. She kept everything. I'm not changing shit. I mean, I might.
Here we go. I found it. Y'all know I don't lie. I don't have a reason to lie. There's no reason to lie. Don't lie on the internet. People are gonna find out the truth. Don't lie on the internet. People will find out the truth. Don't lie. Just tell the truth. It's so much simpler. I'm telling you.
The bitch I dumped was out on a date 3 hours later. A sickness is not going to, no, I'm not changing my ways. Like, this is it. Like, I'm as closed-minded as they come right now. I used to be as open-minded as they come. It's like, this is it. A sickness is not going to, no, I'm not changing my ways. Like, this is it. Like, I'm as closed-minded as going to, no, I'm not changing my ways. Like, this is it. Like, I'm as closed-minded as they come right now. I used to be as open-minded as they come. I was open-minded, but guess what? I'm as closed-minded as they come right now. I used to be as open-minded. No, I'm not changing my ways. Like, this is it. Like, I'm as closed-minded as they come right now. I used to be as open-minded as they come. Ways. Like, this is it. A sickness is not going to, no, I'm not changing my ways. Like, this is it. Like, I'm as closed-minded.
You can listen now or you can listen later. You're going to listen. Life will make you listen, regardless of whether you like it or not. Time is the ultimate revealer. All that talk, all that this, all that grandioseness, all that big bravado-ness, all that everything, man, listen. When the masks come down from the top of the flight and the oxygen mask come down and the pilot says you need to put on the oxygen mask because we don't know what's about to happen, you might think you're an atheist. You might think you're an atheist. You gonna be praying to something, my nigga. I guarantee it. I don't mean to call y'all niggas. I'm sorry. If I call you my nigga, I love you. I heard something the other day. A comedian, he's like, black people are so cool. They took their own racial insult and made it cool. I was like, it's not cool, bro. That's not cool. That's not cool. He was really insulting us. It was an Asian guy, an Asian comedian. I was like, why does he have to be Asian? Jesus. They're like, why do you care that he's Asian? Jesus. Well, relax. All right? We can't all be racist. Relax. Stop. Hey, if you're enjoying this live stream, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you've already given it a thumbs up, then make sure you let your neighbor or your significant other laying in bed beside you that you're enjoying this live stream. And the reason you're not sleeping with them right now or sleeping beside them or asleep, not sleeping with them, Jesus. Well, maybe you're not sleeping with them. I mean, if you're not sleeping with them, then wake them up and sleep with them. Bombs. Wake them up and sleep with them, dang it. All right? Wake them up and sleep with them. Yeah, it's still 90 degrees in Texas. It was 104 today. All the kids were swimming in the pool. It was hot, very hot. But it's late at night now. We're going to wrap this thing on down. I've been talking with my hands a lot today. I feel like a banana. I'm looking at myself and look like a big banana. Shirt's a little big, but you know it's all right. Sometimes you gotta feel confident no matter what you're wearing. You know, it's cool to wear the tight stuff all the time, and you know you could wear the extra mediums. I could rock the extra mediums, you know, and be like this the entire stream. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, y'all. You know what it is. See, Donovan, he failed to realize that you got to be alpha with that. Women love an alpha man, you know, and you got to be the alpha because once she understands that you're really alpha about it and stuff, like, all the rest of it don't matter, man. Gotta be alpha. I don't need to do all that, bro. Guys, just be you. If they don't like you for who you are, it doesn't matter. All right, just be you. It's always a lot better to be you. People will love you for you, and I love y'all for loving and appreciating the channel and appreciating me. We will be back tomorrow with the live stream that I thought we'd be doing today. In the live stream tomorrow, we're talking about Monique. And it's, of course, not in the way that you're thinking. Monique has been at the center of a lot of controversy for years. And to be honest, I had no idea what was going on with Monique. I had no idea what was going on with Monique. I've been looking up stuff. Listen, The Root says 10 hours ago, D.L. Huey calls Monique a monster as recent feuds continue. Hot New Hip Hop says Monique's sister goes off on her following D.L. Huey spat, quote, stop the madness. Apparently, a lot of people really don't like Monique. And when I say a lot of people, it's starting to become Black Hollywood, too. It's starting to become Monique's people. And you have to understand, the reason that Monique became really popular or in the spotlight to begin with is because she was sticking up for our people. So why now are so many Black celebrities calling out Monique, ladies and gentlemen? That'll be the theme for tomorrow's live stream. Does that sound exciting to y'all? How does that sound to y'all? She is always in some mess. It's a very interesting concept, though. What happens in real life mirrors so closely to our YouTube world. It's fascinating, man. I look at it and I'm like, well, and you know, shout out to our channel member that sent me that story, because I was unaware until our channel member, and that's why I love our channel members, man, until one of our channel members, our top channel members, was making the connections behind the scene. And she was talking to me about it and explaining everything. And I was like, wow, okay. That's true. Batty Gal says because she's always running her mouth. Well, partially true, Batty Gal, partially true, but it's not necessarily like she's running her mouth for an unrighteous cause, so it seemed. I mean, I'm not going to get into it too bad right now. But Diana Prince, we have modding in the building right now. Man, it's good to see Diana Prince in the building. She says exactly, Smart Cookie. Sadly, even when God brings out the people out of sickness, they still refuse to humble themselves. Cookie said something right there. THT laughing there. I know it's so hot out here. Y'all have no idea. America, the USA, Laffy Taffy. That's a comment right there. We got a Laffy Taffy comment. Oh my gosh, I hate Laffy Taffies. Lord Rock of Neptune. Then Life Breaks. Okay, I'm reading a lot of comments out of sync. I know if you're listening on the audio, you don't understand anything of what I'm talking about right now. Smart Cookie added me and said, THT, remember when the other Manosphere content creator had lost one of his testicles and changed his tone as well? I do. Smart Cookie, I surely do. You're speaking on MTR, which is Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. And he's somewhat gone back to his originality as well. But I think the Kevin Samuels thing also did do a little bit of a change in him as well. And I saw the immediate change. I'll need to go back and see where he's standing now so we can kind of, do a cumulative research project on him. So let's go ahead and add that into the back end of tomorrow night's Monique stream. Let me put that. Oh, my phone is right there. Dang it. I have a little stylus on my phone. Yo, shout out to Motorola. I used to hate this phone. Not this one. This is my LG. But in the phone that I'm live streaming on right now, it has a stylus. And when you take the stylus out of the bottom, it automatically opens up like a notepad. Man, it's so awesome. So I just, throughout the day, I jot down all of my notes. I write down all the notes. Then I email the notes to myself. Then I structure out the notes for the live stream process. Really, really great work, intuitive process. When you're a YouTuber, I mean, we really never stop working. People send me articles 24/7. I'm constantly writing. I'm constantly trying to make the next live show. Like, as soon as this live stream ends, y'all, it's over. Like, I have to create more and more and more and more and more. It's a very arduous process. But the good thing is when you're passionate about a message and then when you have actual content, the good thing is people are crazy, essentially. So we have content for forever. The good thing is people are insane, but no, it's a constant process. And so that phone has been really good. The donations help so I can get better equipment to make that process easier. When you can get cameras and automated processes, like for instance, there's something called the ATEM MIDI. It's a video audio box. And so what it does essentially is you plug all your HDMI, RC or RVA, digital coaxial plugs, you plug everything into one box and it controls every single video element. So if I had like security cameras outside and stuff like that, it could do so much. It's amazing. How much it can do. And it's good for podcasts. But at the same time, there's no need for it really right now, to be honest with you, because, you know, we don't have, you know, that's this type of stuff when we finally start getting, you know, 500 people consistently watching, then 1,000 people consistently watching, we can upgrade to those good materials there and stuff like that. But yeah, man, this is a full-time job. I'm so happy that y'all enjoy it. And I'm encouraged when y'all support it. That lets me know I can keep on doing it, and I will keep on doing it. So we'll do that. One thing else I wanted to say, on the Monique stream tomorrow night, I'm going to be bringing in probably 1 or 2 new moderators. If you want to become a moderator, email me tonight, thehonesttruthyt@gmail.com. Email me tonight. I need a few new mods. If you're a moderator on this channel, it takes a good amount of responsibility. Just the only thing I ask, don't go banning everybody. But most likely, if I select you, I already know that you have good, you know, temperate judgment for the most part, because you're going to have a good amount of access to the channel behind the scenes, and you can do a good amount of stuff as a moderator on this channel. So, not to mention when we do have THT TV coming out, and by the way, we have products getting ready to come out, y'all. Well, a product, and it has to do with bath and body. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. That's all I can say about it. It's going to be wild. If I'm pushing it, trust me, you're going to want to get it. It is fascinatingly amazing. So once again, my email, THT, can be reached at thehonesttruthyt@gmail.com. We are wrapping this thing up. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Probably try and do it around 5 Central Time or 6 Central Time. That means it's going to be on the West Coast around 3 or 4 o'clock. It's going to be on the East Coast around 6 or 7 o'clock. The Monique stream, so that way people can be getting ready to get out of work. People can be on the highway stuck in traffic. And then some people can be at the movie theater or just have made it home on Sunday. Wait, tomorrow's Sunday. No traffic, except if you're on the West Coast or New York, right? So either way, it should be a nice little blanketed time. It's hot, so make sure you hop in the pool. That's the one fun thing I'm doing tomorrow. I'm ending the Zoom meeting right now. Nobody wanted to hop in Zoom. That's all right. Shout out to Zoom for that. Do something different. Once again, start thinking about your Second Amendment rights. Get yourself a knife tonight if you can. Go down to the corner store, get a knife, put it in your purse. You'll forget all about it until that second comes when you realize that you have a knife when you need it. One chance to dance in life, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forfeit that chance before the spotlight gets a chance to reach you, okay? Please don't. Please don't. I can't stress that enough, all right? If there's anything that you've gotten from this stream, I know it's fun. I know it's entertaining. I know it's good. I know we make a lot of good points. But that is that life is precious, all right? So go out, enjoy your loved ones, treat them right, treat everybody right, and make sure that you do everything that you'd like to do, right, while we're here. So I love you. I'll see you in the very, very, very near future. Good night. Au revoir. Buenos noches. Linking down. No, oh, man, I should not have said that. In 5 years, that's going to come back to bite me in the ass. I should not have said that. It's too late now. Good night. I love y'all.